Hello and welcome to episode 18 of series 4 of Master League Story Mode. Thank you to all of you who managed to join me in the live stream on Sunday. Oh my god, I have only just recovered. Seriously, that, as I said many times, took years off my life. It started badly, we lost the first game of 4, things just got worse, the form was poor, and then the technical difficulties started, my laptop died, the stream went down almost, but somehow in the end we managed to prevail and we got promoted. And well, as I said, it took a lot out of me, so much so that I'm now so far behind that actually this episode is going to have to be a little shorter than usual, but that's no problem, because what it's going to be is a little season roundup, looking back at the last season, and a little bit of maybe looking forward to the next one. So we'll start off this little look back at the incredible Clermont foot season. Corinne Diacre launching Clermont to a historic first ever promotion into Ligue on the final day, pretty much. I mean, it didn't come down to the last result in the end, but it was pretty damn close. So let's have a look and see how everyone did over the season. Obviously, right at the top of the charts is our dependable goalkeeper, the Bernardon. He got average rating of 6, is pretty good. That's not to be sniffed at for a keeper. And then Big Zagadou, he managed to bag 1 goal. Would have liked to have seen more from him, really. He got a 5.8, as did our captain, David Doulin. He had a couple of goals, couple of assists as well when he played in defensive midfield. Alcibiade, he came in second half of the season. He wasn't great, to be honest, but he did manage to get 5.9 rating. Never felt like he did that much. Didn't ever seem to do as well as Saavedra out on the left, who, as we said all the way through, he played a lot better than his rating would have suggested. He grabbed 4 assists in the season, but he may well be a player we look to replace as we move into Ligue. I think we need more quality, and for me, a left-footed player out on that side. So that's maybe one area to look at. He's definitely on my list. Then Mathew, well, he was a steadying influence in the midfield, especially alongside Olivier and Cham. They built up a really nice partnership in the second half of the season. But again, another player who maybe we can improve on. And after him in the list goes, a player, I wouldn't even say I love to hate him. I feel like I'm moving more towards just disappointment with Passetto. He played 15, no goals, only 2 assists. He got an average rating of 6, which is pretty good. It puts him up there with some of the better performers. But yeah, not really good enough for me. And then Olivier and Cham. Well, he, at the beginning of the season, he was a figure of fun. He just couldn't score. He did manage to get 1 goal in the end. 4 assists from midfield and attacking midfield, probably not enough either. His passing does lack. But again, second half of the season, alongside Mathew, he came into his own as an N'Golo Kante-like presence in the middle of the park. Ended with 6 overall ratings, pretty good. And then Big Frankie Honorat. He played 39 games for the club this season. Only Bernardoni and Dorry played more games than him. He came away with a 6.3, which is pretty impressive, really. 12 assists and 14 goals, making probably our best all-round player this season. He didn't appear to get that many assists, and he doesn't have very good passing stats, but yeah, him and Dorry started to click pretty well. And then Wellington Nem, well, we're going to get to in a second to see whether we can maybe go back in for him and sign him permanently. The loan signing, he'll be on his way back to Brazil if we can't. He ended with 6.1. 6 goals and 7 assists, but the 6th goal was the one that, in theory, put us into Ligue 1. It wasn't necessarily in the end, but he got that winner in the last game of the season. Absolute scenes in the stream, and then we couldn't end with anyone else but Chunky Dorry, the man of many nicknames. He played 40 games for the club this season. Pretty sure that's every single game. And yeah, 26 goals. Wow. He's the top scorer in Ligue 2, and he was incredible. 8 assists as well. And 6.6 overall rating makes him our highest rated player. And then we've got a few players who didn't really play. Fontaine, he played a bit at the beginning of the season, and then a few bit part appearances. But as you can see, we barely made any subs throughout the season. These players did really, really well to last the course. So looking at our team instructions over the whole season, well, I mean, as we started to dominate more, the possession game had to come into play. We were set up to counter-attack, but we just had so much of the ball. We were so dominant. It was always going to be possession. Long pass, well, we're sort of in the middle, really. We had to vary it. The all-out defence and conservative, which slightly more towards conservative, and all-out defence was always the plan. Then counter to Dorry. Interesting to see where the goals were scored. 25 from through balls. That's where we had most of our luck. Only 10 from crosses. Compare that to previous seasons. And we also conceded the most goals from through balls as well. Looking at the time, we scored a lot of early goals. That's interesting. Definitely struggled a little bit maybe to score goals after the half. And gave away quite a few before the half, but nothing major out of that. Average possession, well, we're about 50-50. That's pretty good, really. Only 1.3 fouls every game, and that is a fair play award waiting to be found. Most of our action happened in the middle of the park, between that midfield three and the attacking midfielder. And in terms of wing play, it all happened with Wellington Nem out on the left-hand side. You can see Honorat barely doing anything on the wings, but that was fine because he sort of popped in more as a second striker when we're in possession, which is a strategy that worked pretty well for us come end of the season. Looking here, well, Dorry is involved a lot in the passing, a lot of passing, pretty well, and won double the amount of balls of Zagadou in the air. A lot of those were long balls up to him, dominated up there. We're going to have to, if we are going to get another centre forward, we want another one to back up who's also a target man like him. Dooling with the most tackles, that's interesting to see. And in terms of success rate on shooting, Dorry and Honorat pretty similar. Dorry had 99 shots. Wellington Nem had a slightly higher success rate, but only scored 6 goals. Interesting to see in Cham, obviously near the top of all of the dribbling, passing sort of stats. Pretty high, but as we saw in terms of assists, he never really quite had the quality right at the end of the pitch in the vital areas, which is something hopefully he can improve on. So yeah, that's interesting. As you can see, there's been some really, really good performances this season. I think obviously Dorry and Honorat, I think they're going to have enough for Ligue. I'm pretty certain they will. And having looked at all of them, I'm going to offer a special treat to you all to celebrate the end of this season and to celebrate promotion. We're going to be doing a player of the season vote, so I'd love to know who your player of the season is. So in the description, there'll be a link to a vote on the Patreon page. Normally these votes are only available to the patrons. They get to vote on all manner of things, from new signings to scouting areas, to which team we should move to, which team Gabby Goal should go to. But just as a one-off special to celebrate getting promotion, you guys are all going to get to vote on this one to decide who is our player of the season. So that's going to be interesting, and we'll announce the results in the next episode. So get in there, get voting, and remember, if you want to be involved in all the votes for both series in the future, then all you have to do is donate $1 or more a month. That's about 80p. And yeah, you're going to get 2, 3, 4 votes a month, plus a load of other benefits as well. So yeah, get involved with that if you fancy it. So one thing we mentioned is we do want to have a look at Wellington Nem. He hasn't left yet. We want to see if we can start the transfer negotiations with him. We didn't actually have an option to buy on him, so we're just getting in there quickly. Sao Paulo, I'm sure, will want him back considering how well he's played. He's 26 years old. Be interesting to see how much he's going to cost us. His market value is 7 million. We don't really know how much money we're going to get yet. So another vote that is going to Patreon, but this is going to be for the patrons only, is which scouting area we go for. We had quite a lot of luck in South America. Obviously, we found Wellington Nem and Paceto, and they did pretty well for us. And Saavedra, that was a great shout, actually, Saavedra. So we want to decide where Corinne Diacre is going to send out the Clermont scouts now for Liga. I'm probably going to give 3 options. I think we might send one to England if we can. Possibly France and possibly Spain as well. Maybe the Netherlands. I'm not sure. But that vote will go out to the patrons, so look out for that if you are donating on Patreon. And we'll get to decide, you know, where's the next crop of Clermont foot players going to be coming from. And just a reminder of our team, and if anyone's interested, well, we have had a bid in for Bernardoni, but there's no way we're letting him go. His contract goes all the way to 2020, so we don't need to worry about him. We might want to have a look at Doulin's contract. His comes up for renewal next year. Alcibiade and Saavedra. I mean, Saavedra, do we want to keep him? I'm not sure. He's pretty decent. It'd be good to keep as backup at least. But I think that's definitely an area we look to strengthen. Masawema, no one interested in him. He's only 21 years old. The young Frenchman has definitely got room to improve, and he had a good season. I don't know what's his development looking like. It's okay. He's on track. I would have liked to have seen a bit more from him. Paceto, well, he's worth 7 million. And as some people mentioned in the stream comments, it may well be that we farm him out wide as a winger next season, and we're looking to fill that attacking midfield role. We haven't found the right one yet. Paceto didn't work. Olivier Ncham didn't work. But we're definitely keeping hold of Olivier Ncham. He's progressing well. I'd love to see a dramatic improvement from him. And then Frank Honorat. He's a player that we almost considered selling. We didn't in the end in January, and thank God we didn't, because he came in with a lot of important goals. Again, another player so young. I mean, look at the ages of these players that have got us promoted. Alcibiades 27, he's one of the oldest by a long shot, but you've got Bernardoni 21, Zagadou 19, Saavedra 21, Masawema 21, Passetto's only 23, and Cham 22, Honorat 22, and then Ferroboridori, who's had no right to score that many goals. It's going to be really interesting to see how he gets on against Ligue defences. He's not getting any better though, so although I don't think we should sell him, and luckily we did manage to get rid of his release fee, I think we need backup for him. We definitely need another striker. Hopefully that's something the scout can find for us, or we can, again, have another look in the French players or the other connected teams. Again, let me know if you know of any, or if you can think of any connected teams to Creeg Diacre, or just put them in the comments anyway, all the other ones, because I've forgotten them all. So if you've got any suggestions, teams that have maybe got a connection with her, then we can have a look there as well. And then we've got a few of these players. I don't think we can sell any players at the moment because we've only got 17 in the squad. So we'll have to bring some people in. But it's peanuts that we can get for these guys. Only maybe 1.5 million between them. So at the moment, not really a consideration. So yeah, not really anyone we want to sell, to be honest. I think everyone will keep. If we got a big bid in for Passetto, I'd consider it. But other than that, we want to keep the squad as it is and only really add quality. I think that's the plan. It's going to be interesting to see how much money we get in the next episode. So we eventually ended up with 52% owner trust from the Fat Controller. That's pretty decent. 20 wins, 12 draws and 8 losses. And that saw us in second place. Team strength is up to 72 and team spirit 87. I mean, as that improved, we really saw the team start to click end of the season. We had a lot of wins, consecutive wins that pushed us all the way to the end. So there we have it. Just a quick one today. Just having a look back at the season. What a season it was. Let me know as well of your favourite memories of this season, favourite goals in the comments. I'll always be happy to hear them. And as I said, as a special one-off, you get to vote on a patron, what would normally be a patron-only vote. Link is in the description. And then we'll decide who you think is your player of the season. For me, well, I'll reveal mine in the next episode, but I think I know who it should be. Obviously, there's a couple of big contenders, but yeah, you will decide on this one. So join me again on Monday where we'll kick off the season proper, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the transfer window, and we'll play probably our first game. So I'll see you in a bit.